reached the Peters household. Please leave a message at the sound of the beep.
Hello, Julie, it's Harry. You there? Listen, I'm really sorry about this, but it's not what you might think. My alarm didn't go off. It's the truth. The power went out in the hotel, and I just slept right through. So, well, it's 4 o'clock here at Johnny's, and listen, if you want to, come on down and we'll go out for a little champagne breakfast or something. That'd be great. Otherwise, I guess I'll call you tomorrow. And listen, I'm really, really sorry about this. Good night.
It's me, Chip. How come the phone was busy just now? Jesus. Look, I had to wake you in. It's happening. I can't believe it, but we're locked into it. 50 minutes and counting. Christ, I just can't take it. I can't fucking take it.
One of the first things I learned about film was that you need to let the audience know what they're in for from the first few seconds. My first forgotten gem throws that little tip out the window, but in doing so it achieves an element of surprise and confusion that I really haven't seen elsewhere in any other film whatsoever. It's a prime example of how the so-called rules of movies can be bent and toyed with to create something unique that most wouldn't think of. The film is Miracle Mile from 1989 by Steve Jarnett, starring Anthony Edwards as the character Harry. Here's your everyday nerdy 80s guy who falls in love with a girl called Julie, played stunningly by Mara Winningham. The first 15 minutes of the film let you think that you're watching a nice small romantic drama, but you're so very wrong. Harry finds himself answering an extremely disturbing phone call which takes the story in a completely different direction than what you would have expected. From here on in, the rest of the film becomes a race against the clock and a struggle for survival where you're never sure if the threat is actually real until the last few minutes of the film. This feeling of uncertainty makes the situation feel much more real and terrifying than what you would see in other films trying to show this kind of situation. Throughout the film, you're treated with a very colorful visual style, supported by a surprisingly haunting electronic soundtrack. Most other directors would have edited this film at a much faster pace, but the long shots contribute beautifully to the feeling of reality, because it doesn't hide anything with lots of fancy editing. It simply makes the movie that much more personal and unique. Talking of personality, Miracle Mile also toys around with its audience through the use of excellent and interesting characters, if a bit comical at times. Miracle Mile gives every single face in the film some sort of personality, even if the character is only part of the story for a few minutes. It just makes the situation that much more relatable. And in that case, the movie is really about the terror of uncertainty and the people that are impacted by it. I guess that's why the use of so many different characters is so effective in this thriller. Miracle Mile never became a large success, and I can imagine why. The film is in itself excellent, and it's not afraid of taking chances and spinning your head around. I think that the film took a chance by being as dark and depressing as it is, and that ultimately people didn't want to see it because of the feeling that it leaves in your gut. You don't want to see this thing on your own because you will need a hug afterwards.